Welcome to the Virginia Cooperative Extension Plant Clinic, all about veggies. These plant clinics are sponsored by the Virginia Cooperative Extension Program of Virginia's two land-grant universities, Virginia Tech and Virginia State Universities. And this evening, we're going to start with a feature that we've included in each of our clinics, the bug watch. So we're going to talk about a bug that you might see in your garden this time of year. You might have seen these tiny little things in your garden or noticed kind of sticky residue on some of your plants. Or if it's really bad, you might see some plant dieback, yellowing and things like that. But we're here to talk about aphids. So they're really tiny. Some can be fluffy. They're covered in fluffy white wax. They can be almost any color. And the eggs are laid in the fall and hatch in the spring. And then during the active season, you'll get multiple generations throughout the year. They're found on undersides of leaves and growing tips. So they kind of target actively growing parts of the plant. And they like to eat plant sap, and they excrete this sticky substance called honeydew. They also can feed on the leaves, stems, or roots of your plants. I started this list of vegetable host plants for aphids, and then it got too long to include on the slide. Basically, they can live on any plant in your vegetable garden. So just keep an eye on it, we're talking about maintenance. So as you're out there watering and mulching and taking care of your garden, just keep an eye on what you see on your plants. And if you start to see some of that sticky substance or any yellowing, we call it sooty mold. It's kind of a black sticky substance. Even the presence of a lot of ants that seems unusual, they're drawn to that sticky honeydew and will eat it. So that could be an indication that you have some aphids. So then start looking under your leaves and around to see if there's anything happening that maybe you just hadn't noticed quite yet. And again, if it gets really bad, you'll see some curling, stunting, or stippling of leaves, some deformity, kind of like in this picture. But that's in really severe infestations. So we're just leaving the peak season for aphids in this region. So maybe we're past the worst of it, but there is really good news. They have a lot of natural enemies. Beetles, lacewings, flies, parasitic wasps, all eat aphids. And so, generally kind of keep an eye on things for a minute before you jump right to a chemical control or panic that you're going to lose all of your garden. In this photo, you see some of these aphids have swellings on them. They've been parasitized by predatory wasps. And so those eggs that the wasps lay will hatch and kill the aphids. And, so they won't be able to do as much damage to your garden. It's kind of a cool way that nature keeps itself in check. You can also control some infestations. You can just spray water on them, and that will dislodge the aphids. And then again, if it gets really severe, there are insecticidal soaps that you can consider using. This was a really great article from our friends at the University of Maryland Extension, and they kind of go through aphids in your vegetable garden. So, refer to it if you start to see some of these in your garden, but hopefully you don't, or hopefully your predatory insect population is keeping them under control. We're going to move on here to questions that we received from our registered guests, and we did get one tonight from Victor about raspberry leaves turning yellow, and Victor was a little concerned that it might be Mosiac virus. So I'm going to turn over to Susan here, who I think has an answer for Victor.
He specifically asked about the Mosiac virus, and so I wanted to start by explaining what Mosiac virus is. And it's a disease that is actually common to brambles or raspberries, but the symptoms of that are more like delayed leafing, dieback of shoots. You do get mottling or yellowish spotting on the leaves, kind of cupping or blistering. You don't get truly yellow leaves. This disease is spread by our bug of the week, the aphid. And the problem with that is it pretty much happens as soon as the aphid bites the plant. Then it spreads the virus. So even controlling for aphids might not get rid of it. The one thing, though, that he's seeing yellowing now, when you see this, it's seen in the early spring, and then once the weather gets hot, it kind of disappears. So it makes me wonder if it's Mosiac virus. I'm not saying it isn't, but I'm not sure it is. So other possibilities might be root rot. Some places have had a lot of water. Raspberries really like for the soil to drain and not be sitting in water. So it's a possibility of that. Could be a similar virus to Mosiac, the raspberry ring spot. Could be herbicide injury, depending on where it is. That could be a problem. But I'm most suspicious of something called iron chlorosis, which is a nutrient deficiency. It's sitting in alkaline soil and it's not getting enough iron, and that will really yellow the leaves. And you can see in this picture on the left are healthy leaves, on the right are leaves that have iron chlorosis. So if that's what his yellow leaves look like, I would suspect more of a nutrient deficiency issue. And that resource right there is really good piece that explains what it is and how to deal with it. It gets some nitrogen, some iron in the soil. So with pictures, maybe I could give a better answer, a more complete answer, a more specific answer, but we didn't get a picture. So we'll just have to say it could be mosaic virus. Not sure it is. I'd look hard at something like a nutrient deficiency.
Susan, I'd just piggyback on yours and kind of give a shout or a plug for our other activities. We do offer in-person plant clinics. Pictures are really helpful, so that would definitely, help us get there. But, if Victor can bring some of the leaves into an in-person plant clinic, we can send those to our lab and actually have them analyzed to see what might be going on. So, there are a lot of different, start with picture, and if we can't figure it out from there, the plant lab is a good resource too.
Absolutely. Thank you, Caitlin.
So you can see, our schedule of virtual plant clinics and in-person plant clinics at fairfaxgardening.org. And these videos have been recorded since the summer of 2020, and they're all available on our YouTube site. So you can scroll through there, you can find information about the topics that you're searching for. Really hope that we'll see you at future clinics. We have a lot of great information for you, a lot of wonderful opportunities. So, please think about joining us in the future. Thank you so much.